because I know a lot of people dream about owning their own restaurant, and you have to be a numbers person if you're going to get into that kind of business, or even inquire the services of somebody who could be able to look at that for you and make sure that you're actually setting yourself up for success. Because people don't just throw numbers out there on a menu or on a business. It's formulas. It's formulas that determines what your food costs is going to be. It's formulas that's going to determine what your operational cost is. And all of those formulas, when they work together in harmony, they create your budget, which you could be able to determine how much you're going to spend on food, how much you're going to spend on labor, and it's going to determine really what you expect to walk away with at the end of the day, so that you could be able to manage that process if you seem to be succeeding or failing in what it is that you perceive or forecast that you expect that business to be able to make. Now, I want to talk about labor costs in this one because I see this issue or this problem, I consider it to be a problem because I see this mistake being taking place so much. And I see the same mistake taking place in big hotels and resorts, and I see the same mistake taking place in very small operations. So it doesn't matter if you're 4 people or 4,000 people. Unless you're managing your labor costs could be one of those things that throw your whole cost and your projections clean out of whack. And that is something that you ought to monitor daily. Like you should be able to say, okay, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever days the restaurant or whatever days you're open, you could be able to determine, okay, what your food cost is going to be like, what your labor cost in particular is going to be like. And then you could be able to make adjustments along the way depending on what business is like. Like you don't need 1,000 people if your occupancy is low. You don't need a whole lot of people if your business isn't really generating the revenue to make sense for you to have so much people on. I go into restaurants. I go in the mall, I go in the theater, and I go even in resorts. And sometimes you have people, they fiddling around because they really don't have anything clear to do, or it's just too much people there. And if you really evaluate how much you end up spending in labor, you could be able to have a real big saving at the end of the day if you just manage that labor cost daily. Let's imagine for a second that you have a slower night and you could be able to cut back on 1 team member, maybe 2 team members, because it's slower and you're not really going to have, unless you're expecting some big boom in business. If it's slower, then you could be able to cut back a little. If you cut back a little, that $70 that you may save from that one employee, or $140 that you save from cutting back by 2 people, at the end of the year, it compounds. You're talking about over $10,000 you just saved. And $10,000 could be $10,000 that goes back into your business. It could be the $10,000 that you pay for your vacation, or whatever it is that you decide to do with it. Because those numbers add up at the end of the year, and every single penny counts. So you want to monitor it daily so that at the end of the day, you don't be looking at a profit and loss statement at the end of the month trying to figure out where you went wrong. You manage the cost daily, and then daily you could be able to make adjustments and changes as necessary so that you could be able to be successful in this restaurant business. If you don't manage it that way, you will have a very difficult time maintaining and keeping your doors open, because it's very expensive to operate a business in the Bahamas. So to operate it successfully, you got to be smart with it. And if you don't know, maybe you just may be ignorant to some things, you just don't know. You need help. Hire somebody. Get some help. Call somebody. Call me. Let's fix the problem, okay? That's all I got for today. That's my tips.